Hi there, friends. Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library. And Elle and I are here today to talk to you about a really special book that we think is absolutely phenomenal, and we think that you will love it as well. So it's only March, so it's kind of hard for me to gauge what books are going to end up on my favorite list of the year, but I am pretty sure that this one is going to definitely be on there. Because I read it a few weeks ago and just really haven't been able to stop thinking about it. It's such a beautiful, heartbreaking, poignant story. But let me tell you a little bit more about it. So this book is actually called What the Fireflies Knew by Kai Harris. Now, one thing about this that's really cool is that this author is actually from Michigan. She's a Michigan native, went to Western Michigan University, and she is a writer and a teacher. So this book actually takes place in Michigan, and it actually takes place in the 1990s, so it's 1995. Which makes me feel really old because I guess at this point it's like considered historical fiction, right? Probably. But I grew up during this time period, so wow, that's crazy to think about. But anyway, it takes place in 1995 and is basically the story of this one summer of this young girl named KB, Kenyatta. And KB is 10, she's almost 11, and she's going through a lot. So her father has died of an overdose, and because of the debts that he had incurred while he was alive, they're about to lose their family home in Detroit. So because of this, KB is going through a lot. Her mom is just really depressed and doesn't seem to connect with her anymore. Her sister, who she was really close with, KB has an older sister she was very close with, really is just not communicating with her. Sister, it just doesn't want anything to do with her anymore. She's really grumpy. She's really quiet. So KB feels like she's all on her own. So the mom takes both the girls to the countryside for the summer, to spend the summer with their grandfather, who they really don't have any relationship with. Grandfather is very quiet, very, also a little bit grumpy, and, doesn't know what to do with these two young girls that have now just been left with him. So KB is dealing with all of these things. She's trying to be friends with the two white kids that live across the street who want to be friends with her, but their mom is kind of a turd and doesn't want her kids to have anything to do with KB. So there is a lot going on, but this is, above all, just the story of a girl finding her place in the world. Despite what she's going through, I think anybody can relate to this book. There were so many aspects of this book that I could relate to, and it was just absolutely amazing because she's pulling herself up out of this grief for her father, not only because of the fact that he's dead, but because of how he died and the stigma that is attached to that. So she's dealing with that. She's dealing with the relationships between her mom and her sister and herself, with her grandfather. She's getting to know other family members that she never knew before. She's just learning how to love herself, who she is, and to love herself. And that is just so amazing. There are a lot of things in this book that are hard to read. It's a very sad book, but it's also a very beautiful and uplifting and hopeful book. I was moved to tears multiple times reading it. I absolutely loved it. And it's really not that long. I actually read it in a day. I think it's really just only a little over 200 pages. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 270 pages, which is not very bad. So it's basically, like I said, the story of this young girl, KB, and her relationships with her family and her relationships with the world, but most importantly, her relationships with herself. She learns what her strengths are, her weaknesses, and she just learns to love herself. And that is just such a beautiful story, right? A girl learning to love herself despite everything, right? Please read this book. I highly recommend it. And like I said, it's a Michigan native, so that is even more reason to read and celebrate this book. But What the Fireflies Knew. Amazing story. Highly recommend it. Well, that's what we have to talk to you guys about today. I hope that this sounds really incredible, and I hope that you find it as moving as I did. Please check it out and read it, and if you have, let me know what you think of it. I'd love to talk about it. And also, please give this video a like. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. Have a wonderful rest of the day.